Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, March 16th, 2026. Today is Mindful Mondays for the Art of Good, a ministry of agape love, where our goal is to master the art of humanity through inclusion and to provide a voice for the marginalized. On Mindful Mondays, we explore leadership. As leaders in our homes, our communities, and sometimes just of ourselves, we are called to lead. That's to lift, empower, anoint, and disciple. Now, the first step is to give those that have experienced the cycle of marginalization, as all of us have at one time or another, and that means those that have been bullied, whether it's corporate bullying, peer bullying, adult bullying, domestic violence, those that have been victimized by the criminal justice system, those that have experienced untraditional housing, or have been impacted by mental and emotional health opportunities because of it, to give them a voice. They say expression is the best antidote to depression, aggression, and any other action that there is, right? So again, all of us have experienced this in some way, shape, or form or another. So in honor of Women's History Month, today we're going to explore boundaries. Now, boundaries for me look kind of like this. One, for physical contact, I have a strict no-touch policy unless I have asked you for a hug and asked if it's okay with you, or you have asked me if it's okay for a hug, and we've developed that type of relationship. But on the same note, if I have opened that up at one time and at another time I said, hey, I prefer us to communicate spiritually only, and I don't want to be touched, that has to be honored too until that's changed again. So again, for me, for physical touch, strict no-touch policy unless we have mutually agreed and asked, is it okay to hug? And if it's okay to hug, and we've agreed upon that and we've established that relationship, we'll continue forward, but that can be revoked at any time verbally. The second boundary for me is consent. For me, no means no the first time. So a refusal of any type of activity must be respected immediately. And this is without any further urging or grooming or pushing. No means no the first time. The third boundary for me, hygiene, and I call this sacred hygiene. This should not be done in public in front of others for show. Okay? A lot of times when we do these sacred hygiene initiatives, like, the foot washing and things like that, it's for show. Ain't nobody's feet really getting washed. You're just throwing some water on them and putting their feet back in that dirty water. That may not have even gotten dirty because you really didn't even clean the feet to begin with. And, even worse, I've seen instances where people are sharing the same water down the line. And the thing about that, big hygiene issue there. Again, this is not done. It's supposed to be done for show. This is a sacred practice, and it should be done in a way that demonstrates action, truth, and desired results of actually cleaning the feet. And it should be done in solitude with God, right? And people should be aware of what's going on before all of a sudden, they're put into this situation. So again, definitely a no. That's private. The fifth boundary is verbal communication. We want to use language that is guided with grace and intentionality. Let's not use James 2:14-16 says for us to be intentional in what we do. Let's make sure that everything we do is for intentional purpose of glorifying and edifying the body of Christ and those therein, right? So we don't want to be like, take care, get well, be safe. A lot of us take those things for granted. We also don't want to use words that are not guided with grace and intentionality, like hunker down, Nobody in the grace of God is hunkering down anywhere. What we are doing in grace is we're praying, we're meditating, we're worshiping, we're taking care of our bodies, we're moving in grace with God. So we want to be mindful of that. So the next thing, boundaries for others and respect. I always respect the boundaries of others. I always ask permission first. And I try to be very clear in what I want and need, and also expect the same clarity from others. So what about you? What are your boundaries? As always, lots of love and peace from the Art of Good, a ministry of agape love. And we look forward to hearing your